was given the privilege of the closing remarks for this conference. And when Mike first brought this to my attention that we're going to have a conference here several months ago, I don't know how long ago, it was several months ago. Okay. And I was very anxious, not anxious in, oh, I hope something good happens, anxious in, oh, I can't wait to have it happen. But as I got closer, I'm thinking, I don't know how many people are going to be there. I'm hoping for a good turnout. I'm hoping for people that I haven't met before or whatever to come to this conference and that. And so I've come to realize during this conference that each conference that we have is unique in of itself. There's maybe the spirit is the same, and it's a great spirit. Yeah. And this spirit here this weekend was fabulous. But every conference is different. The one in Knoxville was different. Whatever the Johnstown, there are different conferences, a different vibe maybe, but it's in joy and thanksgiving in that. And I'm so appreciative of you who came out to this conference this weekend in that. Thank you for coming here. Every lesson this conference was obviously ordained by God. We don't get together and say, okay, you preach on this or you teach on that. It's just whatever God lays on our heart, that's what we teach. Now, there was some organization, is the question and answer and things like that. But Clyde did not come to me and say, okay, Mark, I need you to teach on ABC. And that didn't happen. But we had a wonderful conference. We learned about the keys of studying God's Word and understanding it, how the Bible clicks, being inclusive and not exclusive. What's really going on in the celestials? Charis, or joy, the ultimate revelation of God. God, as Clyde said, I'll just reiterate it a bit. There's a primitive revelation of God in the Old Testament. And as the revelation continues on, God reveals more and more about his own heart. And it's not until we come to the church, which is his body, the secret administration, do we have the full-blown example and representation of God's love and grace. And we are privileged to live in that era now. Charis as joy, the ultimate revelation of God. Then we have somebody talked about the glory of God throughout his creation, telescope, microscope. Somebody said something like that. And we have our unique calling. We are part of the Christ. I hope you can understand and appreciate that incomprehensible teaching that we are part of the Christ. We as individuals are the complement of Christ, and we become the Christ, who then becomes the complement of God. And as I reiterate myself, as I said before, how could God need complementing? How could he need filling up? And the answer lies in Romans 11:36 and a few other verses. God did not create this universe. He did not create us ex nihilo, that fancy theological term, out of nothing. As if, well, I created, I don't know about this. It didn't work out. I'm going to do something different. Everything that God created came out of him. Therefore, he has that vested interest in what he created. And he's not going to let or lose any part of that creation because it came out of him. Then we learned, we were taught about the mythology of Christianity in the rich man and Lazarus. I don't know how many people I've dealt with and that said the same thing. Well, what about the rich man and Lazarus? Well, what about the rich man and Lazarus? Okay? So we've some of us here have learned some new things. Some of us here have been encouraged by the things we have learned before, but others are speaking them. And I'm going to read you a quote. And I won't take long, but I'm going to read you a quote here. This is by a fellow by the name of Lao Tzu. Lao, last name Tzu. And I'll preface this with, and I don't know what the man believed about God, but I do remember Mike sending me a video one time about an atheist who was talking about the lack of free will in human beings. You remember that? And as I looked at that video and I read things that other people wrote, I'm thinking, what a kicker. These people who are avowed atheists don't believe in God, and they're teaching God's truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just chuckle at that thought. So once again, this fellow, I don't know what he believed. I just know what he wrote or what was attributed to him. And he says, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. Oh, if I had to do that over again, I would have done that. I wouldn't have done that. I'd have made a different decision. If only I could go back and live that again, I'd do something different. Well, that would be going off script. Because if you had the same, you go live that circumstance again, and the same circumstances were present, you would do what? Make the same decision.
Yeah.
Because God scripted that in your life. So if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. What's going to happen? Oh, so nervous. And this is epidemic throughout this country. You watch any videos or anything about people are so anxious. Suicide rates up. I don't know how many people are on antidepressants. They're just anxious about the future because they don't know what's going to happen. And they feel powerless to affect the future. And so if you are living in the future, or if you are anxious, you are living in the future. And the third line, if you are at peace, you are living in the present. I don't know what's going to happen. I could walk out of here and cross the parking lot to my automobile, and some crazy person come in the parking lot and run me over. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I have a general idea what's going to happen, but I don't know for sure. If you're at peace, you are living in the present. God has it scripted out. You're not going to be able to change it. And God says, all these things that we've been talking about this weekend, the joy of God. If you told somebody in the religious system that in this day and age of grace, God is running towards us and say, here's what I did for you. I want you. Instead of the Christian attitude of, boy, if you don't straighten up, God's going to send you to hell. So the final remarks, and I'm not even going to use all my time. What? Who said that? In light of all that we know, and in light of all that we are going to continue to learn, in light of all those who've gone in before us in the past, these men, we stand on their shoulders. They saw truth. They recovered truth. And if God carries this age of grace forward, or age of joy, I should say, carry it forward, this secret administration, there are going to be people coming along that are going to be stepping on our shoulders. And hopefully recovering even more truth. Yes. Things they might discover and recover that if we were able to understand or be there, we would go, wow, how did I miss that?
Of course.
How did I not see that? I am convinced, just as an aside, that if you spent your entire lifetime, let's say you lived to a ripe old age of 75, that's how old I am, and you started when you were a young person at age 20, and you studied and determined that you were going to mine everything that you could in Ephesians chapter 1, verses 1 through 12, it would take you your entire lifetime and you still wouldn't get it all. So if you're at peace, you're living in the present, and as we depart, go our own ways. Go in peace and thanksgiving.